So guys, as we're discussing about provider.of context, we'll try to look little bit more about it in detail. Okay, so how you can call provider.of context in other way also. So if you see, if you go through the documentation, you will come to know that provider.of context you can call by context dot either your watch and context dot read also, right? So now both are different functions, will come just in few minutes, but just we'll see into the example to understand much more in better way, right? So here you can see the provider.of context, whatever maybe is there afterwards. So this is equivalent to context.read. Okay, and what is context.read? If you just try to look inside the library, what does it mean? It is equivalent to your provider dot of context again, right? Both your read and watch, both are at the end of the day when you will be calling it up, it will be calling your provider dot of a generic type t, and inside whatever maybe you have extras, right? Your this dot context, and in one your listener is having true and another your listener is false. Now which one's listener is true and false, that we'll see now. So context.read, here you can see that I have used inside of the button. So it means that it don't expect to to change. It just wanted to trigger the operations. It don't listen continuously, or it's not subscribed it up, right? So here the listen is false hence. So here you can if you see inside the read, the listen is false here, right? Now in case of watch, for example, whenever your UI is continuously listening uh, from your change notifier, okay, so what happens that when something happens in change notifier and it will trigger operation just notify, so your UI wanted to render, right? So as it is listening it up, so defaultly your provider dot of context, it is true, listening is, so that you have wrapped with the watch. So I can say that this both are almost locator only, a locator type only, which is locating your provider dot, just it's wrapped it up at the end of the day, right? So yeah, we'll now go through, we'll just do a little bit hands-on to understand much more in better way. Now guys, as we can see, now I will try to refresh, and whenever maybe I will be clicking it up, so here you can see it up, it's functioning at the end same. Now here you can see that we have consumer, and this thing also we can comment it down, and we'll be implementing with help of context.read, right? So we'll be putting context.notread watch. Ayo, I'm just so this watch, you need to pass the notifier, means which notifier it wanted to listen, right? So here controller is also extended your change notifier classes, right? So it just we are passing, we are telling explicitly to watch that we need to listen this, we need to just listen this controller and this counter one, and this one is as it is int, so we need to convert it into string. So here you can see the 6 is coming, right? So yeah, we'll just try to restart it. Just I will switch off the debug point once it's restarted, and I will restart, and whenever maybe I will be clicking it up, see the control first comes to your context.read, and afterwards where the control will go, just I will put here one debug point and the debug point. So afterwards you can see the control next comes to Pranav, hello Pranav, and next it came to this widget. So here you can see that hello Pranav also again got rebuilt, right? So at the end of the day, context.watch and provider.of context, there is no differences, right? So both are at the end equivalent, just we are using it up. So guys, as you can see, your provider.of context and your with a listen equal to true is equivalent to your context.watch, right? So here you can see functionality wise both are equal. Now we'll do one thing. We'll try to take out this widget outside of this widget tree. Okay, and we'll place somewhere it down, and we'll see that how that functioning will work. Okay, so just now next we'll define on stateless class, for example my widget. Okay, just let's put the name my widget only, and this text widget I will take out from there to here. Okay, and this my widget will be called up from here. Just will be calling it up, and just restart it first once. Just I will put little bit styling so that you guys can understand much more better. Okay, because this is not visible at all. Okay, now let's I will on the debug point first, and whenever maybe, okay, just let's put here also debug point here to understand much more better. Okay, now whenever maybe I will be clicking it up, so you can see first it's going here the control, and next it will go to here. Okay, just I will put the debug point here also to understand better. You can see the control comes to counter function, and here the counter will be incremented it up, and it will notify afterwards. And then you can see the control comes to here. Okay, but it didn't hit up here. So it means that once you taken out this widget outside of this widget tree, now only this widget, the one widget, the text widget is going to rebuild it up based upon the context of build context of this new independent widget classes. Okay, so yeah, so you see it got rebuilt, and the state also completely managed, and your widget tree also rebuilt it properly, right? So this is the thing which I was telling previously, that just try to take out as much as you can. Either you can use consumer, or you just try to take out the widget which you want to rebuild it up, or so it wouldn't means affect the whole widget tree. So that is the thing. So in our this example, we'll try to take few widgets. Just take hello Pranav, and above that also few widgets will be there, and under that you have one which is listening to your change notifier and your button, right? So this one I will just redesign it up, but I want to show that how we are going to use means what is the use of this child parameters in your change notifier provider. So just we'll take one container, we'll make one container, and we'll just define the width 200, comma height also will define height also 200, and then after color we'll be defining it up, color colors dot amber. So here you can see everything is gone now, and you have a container with width and height 200. Okay, now we wanted to listen from your change notifier, or in our previous example just I made it clear so many times that maybe to you guys, that if you try to access now provider from here, you cannot do, because your context of your change notifier provider you don't have it. So whenever maybe you try to write here context.read or something watch, it will try to access context of this widget. Okay, widget tree, it will not access from here. So what you have to use, we have to use builder, and in the builder we have, maybe you can observe that we have context and child. Okay, so from this context only we are going to access our change notifier provider, and yeah, so of course this provider and this whole thing we are going to access. So what we can do it up, so now whenever maybe you are defining it up here child, we just put child. Okay, and you just need to return it up, and here you have to put exclamatory mark, and then after we'll try to look what happens. So hey guys, I'll be showing you now one feature of change notifier provider, that is child. You have right, previous video maybe I told you that it avoids widget rebuilding again and again. So yeah, we'll see here. So in our example, we have taken one container widget. Upon it, or maybe inside, we'll be having one text widget and your button. Both of them will be either listening and doing operations with provider. Okay. So we want that this container shouldn't get rebuilded again and again. It will get rebuilded only once when maybe you will be putting it up under child, but rather than that, it will not get rebuilded. So that we need. Okay. So here you can see once you have defined it under child, and whenever maybe you will be putting it up, it will not get rebuilded. Okay. So now we'll try to do we'll try to keep the widgets, okay, which will be related, means will be associated with your provider operations. So now I'll be putting it up your container. With container, let's put up your, just I'll be putting consumer. No, I'll not put consumer, just let's put only context dot your, it will be listening it up. So for that I need to put watch and to, and then after your which class it wanted to be listened, right? And then after you put counter, and you need to wrap this thing with text widget. Just, and this one, as it is integer, we'll try to convert it up to string. Okay. And then after, just reset it up. So here you can see we have one, and we'll try to little bit style. You put text style with, you put font size, I will be putting 34. That's favorite, or maybe that comes in my mind first, that's why I kept. And then after fill button also I'll be putting it up, and this one will put text click. And here I will be doing the operation of context dot, just I copied first, and this one will be read, and then after what's the method it wanted to call, so counter function, and we'll be putting semicolon. Okay. So now you can see it up, just one example, one rough diagram I have taken it up, rough widget. Okay, not any fancy something. Let's put the debug point to understand it much better. Okay, so whenever maybe you will be clicking it up, just I will restart. Okay, now whenever maybe I will be clicking it up, let's click it up, and you can see that it headed to your text widget first. Okay, no, so now you can see it headed to your fill button, and then after it will go to there and operations it will do, and then after it will notify. And let's see where the control comes next. So you can see it got incremented. Just we'll try to increment once again, and you can see it got hit here, and you can see it got incremented by 3. It is really interesting to see that it didn't, means the debug point didn't come here. Okay, so yeah, by this way, of course, means if you have heavy widgets, okay, and one-sided widgets, and every, so whole widgets, if you don't want it to render it up, right, you just keep it up under child, and whichever maybe you wanted to render, you just keep it like this, and you can just do this. But maximally we don't use it, because maybe in your real project your widget is used to be, you know, that too much complex, and thing is that you don't know that which portions you wanted to rebuild and which portion you don't wanted to rebuild. Means it used to be scattered, means there is no patterns like in this single portions, means half of the skin will not get rebuilt and down it will get rebuilt. It's quite unpredictable. So for that approach only we uses our previous methods. This is just one example I have shown you. Maybe you can utilize it up according to your way, that I cannot say, but yeah, just shown you, right? That's it. So after seeing this many example, I hope that you understood whatever maybe I try to make you understand. So first thing is that whenever you use context or maybe consumer, okay, so first let's go to the consumer. When you are using consumer, try to wrap whichever maybe it's listening, okay. And if you don't use consumer, so whichever may be using listening, for example context.of whatever may be the value it's listening, try to take that widget outside of the parent, the whole widget, complex widget, okay. So what will happen that whenever maybe it's listening or it get updated, so only particular that widget will get rebuilt. The whole widget, with suppose if you keep with the parent one, so the whole parent widget will get rebuilt, okay. So it will decrease of course the performance. So this is the thing we always just try to keep it in mind. It will be really helpful and your app will not get jittery or maybe the lag effect.